Lawson, Marlborough, Wentworth Falls, Lura, Katoomba, Medlow Barn, Blackheath, Mount Victoria, Bell if requested, Zigzag if requested, and then lift go. Customers for Bell or Zigzag, please notify the guard at the rear of the train. Any customers for Linden, please travel on the line from the rear 4 carriages.
So I go left here. Okay, it says I'm here, bottom of Sassafras Road. I'm going to walk down to Sassafras Gully Creek here and along the creek. I think that's the Victory track to this intersection here with the Wiggins track, and there's a campground there which I hope is unoccupied. Anyway, the idea is to hike down to Sassafras Creek. There's a small campsite there. Hopefully it's unoccupied, and I'll occupy it, I suppose. Well, I've just come across there. It's a little bit harder than it looks. So we're down on the creek now. I don't know if you can see it. You can probably hear it going over the Cascades. I'm not sure if this is the creek that the campground's on, or this is a side creek that flows into the main creek. We'll continue on the track and we'll find out, I suppose. So it looks like we've had a bit of flooding here. All the trees are bent with the flow of the creek. Okay, I've just made it down to the Sassafras Creek campground. There's no one here. I'll just show you around. So I'm thinking of taking that little corner there in case someone else turns up. It's a nice big rock formation there. There's a rather a wreck of a fireplace, and behind that is, I think, the Sassafras Gully Creek. We had a lot of rain yesterday. We're going to have a lot of rain tomorrow. You can see it's flowing well. It's another view of the creek. It's looking good. Okay, it's about 6:10. I'm losing light, so I'm going to set up now. Well, I've set up the tent. I'll just show you around. You'll see that I've got a self-inflating mat there. There's a climate air pillow and a Aegis Max down sleeping bag. I think it's a summer bag. Somewhere in here. I also have a SOL Escape bivvy, just in case it gets a bit cold. I don't think I'll need it, but I've brought it anyway. There's a pair of tracksuit pants to change into tonight, and a jumper over there, fresh t-shirt for tomorrow, a little nature hike pillow, and some coffee and so forth. I've also got a couple of litres of water, a tin of chunky soup, there's a pot to boil some water in for coffee tomorrow morning, and I have a little solid fuel stove to do all the cooking that I'm going to do, which is almost nothing, just a bit of heating of the soup and boiling some water for coffee. That's pretty much my setup. It's fairly minimal, but I think it's all I need for a quick overnighter. Well, it's slowly getting there. I just gave it a stir and some steam came off when I stirred the stuff that was at the bottom to the top. Well, it's about 8 o'clock and I'm in the tent now. It's a bit of a squeeze. It's a little one-man tent. I think I told you before, it's a gear top Pyramid 2, so it's a single trekking pole tent, single skin. So this is the skin of the tent. There's no inner. I've put my bivvy on. I'm a little bit concerned about condensation, so I put the sole bivvy on at the lower half of the sleeping bag. It's a light summer sleeping bag. It's a down. I don't want to get it wet. I should be okay. I suppose for me, I'm 58. There's a trade-off between comfort and weight and what my back can carry. I've done some damage to my back over the years, and I just can't carry a lot anymore. So I have to be very careful when I'm hiking, backpacking, and I think I'm going to have to stick to some lightweight tents like this. I'm just going to have to get used to the cramped conditions. Anyway, that's just to show you what the end of the bed looks like. You sleep in the middle. I've got a little bit of room there. See the bivvy's touching the almost touching the wall of tent, but at least that doesn't matter too much if it gets a bit of condensation. I don't want the goose down bag to get wet. Yeah, the bivvy might sound like a bit of overkill. It's only expected to get down to 12 or 13 here tonight, and that might not sound like a lot to some, but the fact is it was 12 or 13 last night, and before that it's been in the 20s, so 22, 23, so it's dropped 10 degrees in the last 2 days, and while 12 or 13 is still comfortable to a lot of people, it's been a bit of a shock to me. And besides, I'm a bit scared of this tent and getting condensation, and I don't want any problems with the getting wet in the sleeping bag, getting the goose down wet. I think it might be a good idea to have the bivvy with me. It's about 5:50 a.m. I won't say I've had a great sleep, but I've slept about 5 hours on and off. I think a 2-hour spell till about midnight. And I was awake for a while, and another 3 hours until just then. I'm going to get up and start dismantling the tent and packing everything away. As you can see, I didn't have a problem with condensation. It's cold to the touch. Did get down a bit last night, but it didn't get any condensation. I've left the doors not completely zipped up, and that probably helped it a lot with the airflow. So that's the Climate airbed, the Aegis Max sleeping bag, and the Soul Escape bivvy packed away. I haven't had to get out of the tent to do that, which is quite surprising. Okay, so I've got a coffee on the go, and I'm going to pack away the tent while that's boiling. Well, the coffee's made, just waiting for the stove to cool down, and then I'll be able to pack it all away. The pot's over there on a piece of an old metal plate, I suppose a grill that someone brought down here. Just letting it cool down. I'll have the coffee and I'll pack everything away. You can get a bit of an idea of the depth of the valley that we're in. We'll look up there. It's cloudy now. We're going to get rain this afternoon, hopefully after I get back to the train station anyway we'll get rain. Usually the sun will be shining on those trees in the morning, and the same over here. But it's cloudy today. I've got to go up this valley here. It's very steep, you can see. There are two ways of going. One is a more direct route via the Wiggins track. That'll cut about 1 kilometre off my journey. It leaves a lot of street walking at the end, but it's a hard track, and with this full backpack, an overnight bag, a tent and a sleeping bag, an air mat and so forth, I just don't think I'll be up to that. So I'll probably go along the same way I came in, and that's about a 4.5 kilometre trip back to the station that way, and it's all uphill. I'm hoping to get there by 8:15 or 8:30. So here's the creek. It's still running. It's actually down a bit from last night. It was a little bit more vigorous as it was going over this cascade here. Okay, that's me all packed away. This is where I was camping. This is where I set the tent up for the night. There's nothing here. It's a little bit dry. We had an overnight dew. See that slightly lighter patch there, or maybe you can't. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but that's the only trace that I've been here. I don't know if you can see that, but this creek was a lot higher yesterday when I came in. I had to take my shoes off to wade across, but you can see there's stepping stones here and here and here exposed, which makes it a little bit easier. It's amazing what a difference a day makes. Anyway, I'm glad I came in yesterday. Today is expected to rain, and it's going to rain for the next 5 days, so definitely there won't be anyone coming down here. Well, I'm back on the footpaths. I'm on Valley Road. The phone's down to 70% charge, which is a lot more than me. It's a long climb out of the Sassafras Gully. I'm running a little bit late, but it's been a good overnighter. Really enjoyed it. I didn't get it. Well, I've already said I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked, but it's pretty good. I'm back at Springwood Station. Just got a train in about 10 minutes. I've brought some deodorant with me, but I don't even think that'll save me. I'll just have to grin and bear it until I get home and have a shower.